Thank you, Congressman Wolf. Our first question is from Buchi Okeke, who's in our audience today. Buchi, if you can go ahead and unmute your microphone, you can ask your question of our panel.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Well, thank you. Thank you so very much, Congressmen and people in the panel for having this session. I'm a very concerned citizen. I migrated to the United States 2015 because of the insecurity going on in modern day in Nigeria right now. And I'm from the Igbo speaking part of Nigeria. And I believe, Mr. Chris, you've been to Nigeria yourself, so you know the factions and all of that. And I want to just say this categorically because I'm very in tune with what's happening, and I want to give you guys a light on how to help make things faster for everyone on this panel, especially if we want to see a lasting change in Nigeria before we all leave this earth. The truth of the matter is, the way it is currently, Nigeria is fighting both a religious war and a tribal war. And the religious war is from the people who want to implode and put in the jihadi, faction and way of life, as well as a tribal war where we are seeing the Igbos and the Yorubas and Hausas all saying that they want to separate from Nigeria. I feel like the first things should be on the agenda should be, how do we disintegrate Nigeria? How do we make Nigeria go back to, everyone goes back to their own particular space? Looking at the history of Nigeria, you would see that the founding fathers of modern day Nigeria never wanted Nigeria to work, and that was why they put Nigeria the way it is. And we have, we've spoken about how much people migrate to other parts of the world and develop other parts of the world. Most of the people who do this are the Igbo speaking tribe of Nigeria. They're the ones who are most concerned about development and progression. But there are some sect of people in Nigeria that are seeking to hold Nigeria down. And you've mentioned them. We all know them, and they're the Fulanis. They're the ones who are hell-bent on making sure that Nigeria becomes South Sudan or becomes Syria, and just ensure that the caliphate of militants, there will be a hybrid of militants that will be sent all the way from Nigeria to other parts of West Africa to cause even more havoc for Africans. So I would say this, and this is just my suggestion, it doesn't have to be followed, but I would say that right now, all hands should be on deck to see how we can disintegrate Nigeria. How can we ensure that people who are shouting or clamoring for Biafra, people who are clamoring for Oduduwa, people who are clamoring for whatever they are clamoring for, how can we ensure that they can go back and create their own nations in Nigeria and see how those people can develop collectively as a group or as a tribe? Because if not, if we continue to say that we want to go in and create a system whereby we help people in power, they've already infiltrated. We will only be, the Americans will only be giving the secrets to the enemies, and that's the fact. We would only be empowering the enemy for what they already have planned for the future. They already know what they want, and they would go out there and even create more havoc. So this is my suggestion, and I want to see what you guys think about it. Thank you very much.
Moderator?
Oh, I believe he wanted
to. Why don't you ask
response.
another? And I think he makes a good point. But why don't you ask another question?
Our next question is from Ray Iminu, who's in our audience and has a question. Ray, if you can go ahead and unmute your microphone, you can ask our panel your question. And when folks do have questions, if you can get to them quickly, that way we can make sure that everybody has a chance to get to theirs. Mr. Iminu, if you'd like to unmute your microphone.
You're on mute, Mr.
Okay.
Amino.
I think we're having some problems with Mr. Iminu's microphone, so we'll go on to our next question, and that comes from Kenneth Okobene. Kenneth Okobene has a couple questions. Kenneth, if you'd like to pick one of them and go ahead and unmute your microphone, you can ask our panel your question.
Sure. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
I'm Ken, calling from Philadelphia. I've been in the US since about about what, 19 years now. I came here as a student. I'm originally from Jos, which, as we all know, it's the hotbed for extremism. I have a two-part question. The first question, basically, what ways can Congress engage more with Nigerian civil society organizations? Because from experience, once you dialogue with the government, they usually cover a lot of human rights. So what steps are you guys taking to seek data information directly from the CSOs? I think a direct engagement.
I have changed my internet first.
Can I go ahead?
Yes, sir, go ahead.
Sure. So basically, in summary, how can the Congress engage more with CSO rather than engaging the government directly? Because we've seen the last 6 years, it's been a very nepotic government in there. So they've been, shielding or covering up a lot of human rights abuses. And secondly, the judiciary is very important and needs how can the Congress encourage a more independent and responsive judiciary within the ambits of Nigerian laws? Thank you.
Buhari removed the Chief Justice and put in a Fulani. It's a politicization of all these institutions. Walter Onegan was the name of the Chief Justice.
Okay, and if our panel would like to go ahead and answer the questions as far as what Congress can do and also how to improve the judiciary in Nigeria.
Well, just very briefly, Buhari changed or replaced the Chief Justice with a Fulani, which is what he's been doing with everything, especially in the police and military side. There's, in terms of context, and I know Tom feels the same way, and Frank Wolf and I always did this. You meet with everyone, and the context has to be with civil society, the churches, the synagogues, and not in this case synagogues, but certainly in other countries. But with the Muslims, with the imams, because there are many imams who are absolutely appalled by what Boko Haram and the other radical Islamists are doing to them and to their co-religionists. So that sends a message as well. Me with individual lawmakers. I mean, I've been to Abuja and met with the speaker and foreign affairs people in both houses. Then they realize and get to see that, where the Congress is coming from, that our empathy. And I'll give an example, again, where I learned something. For 3 years, I tried to get Boko Haram designated as a FTO, foreign terrorist organization. The Obama administration would not do it. So I held hearings. On the day I was going to mark up my bill to so designate it, they changed their policy and they said, we're designating them as an FTO. But what preceded all of that was meeting with members of the parliament, or the Congress, both sides, and they had a mistaken view as to what FTO actually meant. Somehow it was just branding Nigeria as a terrorist state rather than branding the individual group. I was kind of taken back by that false impression. And when they realized that we're looking to help them, because we want to track the flow of arms and money and everything else to these organizations with an FTO designation, they thought it was a good idea. But again, it was that contact with individual lawmakers and governors. We miss a great opportunity to know what's really going on when we just talk to the central government in Abuja and don't talk to the individual governors. And I've met with many individual governors over the years, including right here in this office. And you do get great insights as to what's going on that then are actionable. And to that original question about the dissolution, all of us are concerned that one, there will be more death and destruction and perhaps even a genocide. The crimes against humanity are already taking place in Nigeria. But, look at what happened in Yugoslavia, when it just all came apart and the great loss of life that occurred there, which got even, so it could get much worse. That's why the special envoy and the coordination with other countries as well. There needs to be more of a UN effort. Frankly, it's been, the ICC, International Criminal Court, has taken forever to bring indictments against individuals who have committed horrific crimes. We should even be thinking about a hybrid court, like what Dr. White did and others in Sierra Leone or in Rwanda or in the former Yugoslavia itself. I mean, these crimes, if they go unattended to, it breeds more impunity and more people die. But again, right now, law enforcement is not reacting. So we've got to get Buhari to change the policy of neglect. When somebody says, we have actionable information that this church might be attacked, or as it's even happening, so that people are protected by a rapid deployment of a police force.